Welcome to Reinventing Broadcast, where AI meets content. Here we have a bonus episode for you. Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Broadcast Media Inside Track, Series 3. This is a bonus episode coming for you. It's a real-life podcast, actually, so yeah, a bit different. And I've spent some time in Japan with my old school friend, Tom. Tom,
Hello.
introduce
Hi,
yourself, Tom.
everyone. Yeah, I'm a musician based in Fukuoka, Japan, and I've just had a great month, over a month, 6 weeks or so with Ben while he's been over. And so we thought it'd be good to have a recap of our time together and tell you a little bit about what we've been working on
Yeah,
during the past month or so.
yeah, it turned out to be a bit of an extended trip, actually. So yeah, Tom's like, why don't you come over like for September? And I was sort of recovering from a bike injury, actually. So I thought, yeah, it'd be a good time to sort of convalesce and sort of work on some of my AI products and services. And then basically there were some conferences happening. So Tom's based in Fukuoka in Kyushu, Japan. I've been there a few times before, and we're like, well, we're both wanting to do a bit of business, me developing the AI stuff and Tom developing his music and audio stuff. So we just, yeah, we went, full tilt. There's plenty of events happening. There was one conference called the Co-Live Fukuoka, which is based at digital nomads, basically. And then there was another one called Ramen Tech the following week, basically a tech trade show. And so, yeah, we just started getting fully involved, didn't we, Tom?
We did. So Ben was due to be around for a month, and then once it was like, oh, we've got an opportunity to meet some people and get involved with this conference, we should probably extend that trip, and so we stayed on a bit, and so we thought a bit more about how to put on some events ourselves and to get involved in some of the events that we're already on to make the most of the time here.
Yeah,
So
because
tell us about. I'll go on.
yeah, because I was just gonna say, like, I've been to Japan like 3 times previously. I always catch up with you every time. But I was always like bouncing around Japan, like looking at the all the sightseeing and stuff. So it was a good opportunity to stay in one place and sort of, do some deep work, some focus time, some, productivity time. And yeah, I'm like, okay, let's extend the trip then.
Yeah. So I have an apartment by the sea, and it's a really peaceful spot. So that's why I invited Ben over to come and stay while that was vacant. It's a chance for him to have a bit of time there, and I think you quite liked it, didn't you? You settled in, and it was good for your recovery. Nice calm environment, not to be
Yeah,
traveling around, to just focus on healing your body and stuck into some work.
yeah. It's like the slow pace of life, which I needed in September. I normally go
Mm.
to a trade show in Amsterdam, IBC, but I gave it a miss this year. I wasn't sort of feeling in the mood. I'm like wondering if I'm going to get any value from it. And I just felt, yeah, I'm going to get more value from some of that focus time, some of the deep work, and sort of figuring out what's next in September, basically. Um, so before I got there, I sort of messaged you. I'm like, what's the startup scene like? What's the tech scene like? And well, you gave me some suggestions, which was great. Some of them were good at replying, some not. The first place actually replied. Our sort of mutual friend Laurie, actually, at Engineering Cafe. That's
Yeah,
a good contact to introduce me to, actually.
That's right. So tell us about, you did a presentation there, and this was really good because this was kind of earlier on in the trip, and it got me up to scratch with what Ben's been working on with AI. And so once you kind of laid out what you've been working on, and also a much deeper background to do with broadcast, for me that was quite interesting because it made me think a lot more about the things I should be asking you about while you're here. So tell us a bit about that presentation and what your ideas were for presenting.
Yeah. So it was, the Engineer Cafe. It's a co-working space in Fukuoka, in the sort of downtown area. And it attracts a lot of technical people, basically, clues in the name. So I met the manager, Laurie, just sort of, went down one day, and he said, actually, your sort of domain knowledge in broadcast would be really good to have a talk about. So I said, okay, well, I've got some slides already. Basically, I was presenting my UC Berkeley capstone project, which was basically intelligent AI scheduling for sort of mid-sized broadcasters, how to sort of weave the AI stuff into broadcast schedules for TV channels. But instead of hitting them with like some hardcore sort of tech slides, I did actually two decks. I did some introductory slides to the history of TV. So all the way back from the 1920s and 30s. Tried to cover that off in about 10 minutes or so. Mentioned the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, the first satellite broadcast internationally. And then I switched the slide deck up and talked for about 20 minutes on artificial intelligence in AI schedules. Basically, I don't know whether I lost the crowd. Some of the crowd were too technical, but some of them definitely got it. And as you saw, there was a lot of questions, follow-up questions afterwards. But yeah, the basic thrust of it was how to use real-time signals in sort of manipulating schedules that either might be on air or were like close proximity to live. So
Yeah.
that that could be like the weather. We could have a API sort of feeding weather data in, and instead of seeing commercials for golf courses, you might see commercials for like taxis or Uber or something like that. But there's loads of scope for it. So what I'd like to see, essentially, it's like a proof of concept slide deck. But what I'd like to see is stuff like trending, what's currently trending at the moment, social media sentiment, what people are talking about, what's trending there. And yeah, any other like search volumes. So, people might be searching on certain things. All of that is adding sort of relevance to what the sort of viewers might want to see. So the aim is to get more eyeballs on the screen for the broadcaster. And that could be for long form programming, creative promotions, or commercials, like the adverts, basically. So yeah, I kind of overran. It was only going to be about sort of
Oh, but it was
25
quite
minutes.
interesting though, and you did have some good engagement and questions, and so the dialogue that came at the end, that it was quite good, I thought.
Yeah, I was surprised the number of questions, and multiple questions from the same person as well. Um, each person had like at least two questions for me. So I probably spent maybe half the total time actually answering the questions afterwards. And most of them were really good questions as well. I had to, have a thoughtful answer and, sort of articulate the
Yeah.
answer quite succinctly. But yeah, most of the people there were definitely
And
engaged
in
in it. It was
fact,
great.
I did have a follow-up question from that session I didn't get a chance to ask you at the time, which made me think, which was kind of related to what we discussed then, which was to do with how programming, culture can be led top down led, broadcast led by the bigger channels, or not, and now we have much more or decentralization, if you will, with channels and platforms and all the rest of it.
Mm.
And I just wondered what you thought about, not, I won't call it the control of narrative, but the way media or culture is shaped, and when it's together or not together, and how it's people led, channel led, and how all this kind of power play, but also culture play, and these challenges are working, and like the broadcaster's role in this time of change, for the
Mm.
clients that you'll be working with, and those kind of people who are working in this field. How
Yeah,
do you think they think about this? How would you think about this?
I think there's a clear line between the sort of public and state broadcasters and commercial broadcasters. So
Mm,
commercial broadcasters like give them what they want, basically.
right.
If they want to watch alternative programming, then serve it up. If they want to watch documentaries, then serve it up. Um, their main thing is what's the commercial line? What's the bottom line?
Viewership, the eyes.
Viewership. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
Hmm.
public broadcasters might be funded by government or have
Have an agenda,
yeah
propaganda, or whatever.
yeah. So in terms of the technology I went through, um, I think it's more relevant now to the short form content. So
Mm,
swapping out commercials last minute to replace it with something more relevant, um, because the long form stuff comes with like rights management. It comes with, the viewer was expecting to see this program at 7 o'clock. And if my AI system starts swapping out things that people expected,
mm,
I don't think that's going to fly in the first instance, especially live stuff. You can't move a live broadcast time.
right.
So I think, yeah, the having presented and some of the questions coming back, it made me think about what particular content in scheduling would be most relevant for this. And
Mm,
yeah, I got some follow up afterwards with someone who was interested in the commercial side, the adverts. How
yeah.
can we, this idea you've presented, how can we use it to, you know, broadcast commercials that are more relevant for the viewer?
Mm.
Are they gonna keep watching the advert break, for example?
The concept of nowcasting
Yeah,
and being as relevant as you can with the most real time, up to date changes that you can integrate, and having the systems that can keep up with that.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
quite interesting. Yeah.
yeah, and short form materials much more easier to swap out, in an instant. The file sizes and the way you can move the content around is much more agile to swap out rather than long form.
Right. Mm.
So yeah, I think going forward, I think the nowcasting would be starting at the short form material, but that includes the promotion. So what things are being promoted or what branding is going out. I think that can be addressed with this idea and this productization of what I want the technology to do.
So tell us what else you got up to while you're in Fukuoka. So that was the engineer cafe.
Yeah,
Cafe. Yeah, yeah.
that
Yeah,
was
that was
that was the
a good
first proper
presentation.
yeah that was the
Yeah,
first
good
proper event I thought, and that was outside of the conference period actually. So
mm,
I think that was the last Friday of September, and then the conferences started from the 1st of October. Um, so I actually, someone came up to me after that talk and said, "Oh, can we sort of meet again and discuss this in a bit more depth?" So yeah, the week after, on the 1st of October, I met that guy, just for lunch and to talk a bit more about it on the opening day of the conferences.
Mm.
And I've actually met him a few times. He's a data scientist, ex professor of the uni, interested in sort of the commercial side of nowcasting. So yeah, there was already a direct result of the talk I gave with sort of real life business interest.
Great.
He's moved on from academia, I think, into like, a US startup who's dealing with this sort of technology. So yeah, I'm actually still in discussions with him and see if we can take that further. So yeah, already a good result at the beginning of the conference
Good.
fortnight.
Somebody gets it. Yeah, what you're working on.
Yeah, and then later that day, met the Japan Digital Nomad Association. So this, this is an organization that manages communities across Japan who invite sort of remote workers and startups and those sort of folks. Because that first 3 days was of the conference was focused on remote workers, digital nomads, solopreneurs, those sort of people. So it's interesting meeting them. They had a bit of a welcoming sort of evening event that I went to. Managed to meet a few interesting people who were also in the same space as me. They were developing AI agents and voice assistants and stuff like that. And yeah, I managed to apply for a few different events during the conference. So as well as the fringe events that I went to, there was a couple of days of actual trade show where we applied and got a booth together. And then another thing in the conference period was the pitch competition. So it was like a 5-minute pitch based on your sort of services and what you're offering. So that was the booth was the following Thursday, and the pitch competition was the following Friday. And that was the last day of the conference. I think 10th of October on the Friday was the last official day of the conference period. So it was kind of by accident, really. I started to apply for the different things available, and I think in the application form, I think you was either going to apply for a pitch competition, a booth, or to be a panel judge. But I just filled it all in, and then we got the we got the booth offered, and I got the pitch competition slot. So I just said, is this free, the booth? They said, oh yeah, it's free. So I said to you, do you want to do this? So yeah, almost by accident we got the booth, but I'm glad we did it anyway. It was a good chance to showcase especially the voice bot. It's like the centerpiece of my new website, which I developed in September. And then we sort of worked out how we're going to operate the booth in terms of, it's your company, Adaptable International, and stuff about what you want to, what audience you want to pitch at. And for me, it was more about, this is the front and center thing. I can demonstrate the voice agent with you right now. And also talk, a little bit about the agents, the automations, and the consultancy and strategy stuff that I do as well. But yeah, I think it was a good move, wasn't it, Tom? Because we're like, should we do 2 days or just one day? And we're like, not sure. But yeah, we just opted for one day in the end. I'm glad we only did.
Yeah, it was good to get out and meet a lot of people, and there was some good interest in your voice bot and also curiosity. And what was quite interesting is all the different languages testing. So there's a couple of Indian guys.
Yeah,
We had Japanese, English. There was
Chinese,
French,
yeah,
Chinese,
Italian.
Italian,
Yeah,
Spanish, and
yeah,
so yeah, really put your voice bot to work.
yeah.
That was really good, eh?
It was great seeing a queue forming actually.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I think once other people saw people like putting the headphones on, being immersed in this like voice bot
Mm,
that could speak different languages. And I was explaining to them, you'll hear my voice, but in a different language. Like, no, can it do Hindi? Can it do Chinese? I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, just have a chat with it.
Mm.
And yeah, just like, people's faces lighting up and like, yeah, that bit of a wow factor, right?
And to be honest, I was really glad that you did manage to get us that spot and to get me out again into the public, because I've been working away doing DIY, kind of
Yeah,
in my own world, just knocking out big scale painting and all kinds of
yeah,
cleaning on this new project at the studio. So a chance to get out again and actually talk to people about what I'm up to
yeah,
is it was kind of refreshing to
yeah,
just do some of the more social things again and network and meet some people. And yeah, that
yeah,
was I was glad to be dragged out for a change.
yeah, because yeah, like when we were talking, you'd not really spoke to the digital nomad and remote worker sort of community. And I'm like, well, now's a good chance to get some introductions and,
Mm,
see if you want to make some connections with these sort of people because they're rotating through these communities in Japan and, well, all over the world.
yeah.
And yeah, great opportunity for you to engage with those people. And also, you met a few people interested in the music side as well that day.
Mm,
And yeah, together with the sort of flyers and brochure wear and infographics that we
mm,
printed out and stuff, I think yeah we covered both bases well, especially because I was hosting the workshop at your studio as well.
yeah.
It was a direct segue into like, well, I'm hosting the AI workshop at All Realm Studios, this is Tom.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the studio. Yeah. Yeah, that was good. So All Realm is what I'm working on with my company, Adaptable International here, and it's still a work in progress. So I have the this building on Noko Noshima. It's a little island in the bay, Hakata Bay in Fukuoka City, and it's a very picturesque, scenic, peaceful, natural kind of environment. Um, And see, I was lucky enough to buy the property last year, and so I've spent like just over a year working on it. So cleaning it and painting it and fixing things and changing things and trying to get on top of the place. And it's still way off. It's huge, and so still a lot of work to get going. So yeah, because I've been as I've been working, I've been thinking, okay, well, how will I be using this place, and not really having the capacity yet to fully launch the work because it's not been ready, enough, and I can't focus on doing all the public facing work while I'm still doing all the DIY. So that was really good to have you to kind of sound out and tell you about the ideas that I've been working on, and then thinking about what could the uses and applications of the studio and the kind of um, crew that could help me and the skills that I would need to utilize things properly. And yeah, we really got stuck into
Yeah,
some good brainstorming together. So that was very beneficial. I was really glad to have you over at this
yeah.
time, at this stage. This stage, yeah.
Because you summed it up quite well, actually. You described it as the physical side and the digital side.
Mm,
So I think towards the end of September, um, you said, well, listen, Ben, you're really good at strategy and consulting. Could you do, you know, doesn't matter what level it's pitched at, high level, macro level, or a bit more detailed, but I'd really, you'd really appreciate, sending off, what direction you want to take all realm, and
Mm,
how we can use the conference fortnight to sort of leverage any connections or skills or take things forward.
yeah.
So yeah, how did you find, like, must have done like half a dozen, like, deep dives on different areas of all realm, and that's the outputs I took for the workshop, in able to provide you with, I think it was about 8 deliverables. I don't know whether you've
Yeah,
had time to
exactly.
look through it
So,
because a lot of reading.
well, I've not fully read them. I've kind of had a skim read. So yeah, amazing depth, and um, they just came like 2 days ago, and I've been out and working on things. So the very useful is the summary, but the how it was useful, you really took the time to listen and map out the ideas, and then especially the sticking points, the things that were really blocking me and holding me up, that I couldn't kind of, I didn't want to decide. It was a bit tricky to put my finger on. Those were the key points where you really helped me work through the um, the sticking points that I had, and then figure out my options of thinking about it, and then some ways of viewing the situation. And so then, thanks to you having that kind of thorough insight, you had the depth because you made proper notes and listened well. Then you're able to um, afterwards follow up with all this material, which is very useful and relevant. And so yeah, during our time, we were like trying to move quick at the same time as like, okay, we're looking out for some nomads and some of the kind of skills we might be looking for, and then thinking about utilizing my space, my property, our properties, and then how to kind of get things moving, the short term and medium and long term. And so being able to zoom in and then think more on the studio side, and then more on the digital workflow side,
Yeah,
and then on skills and people, staff, crew side, and then breaking it all down, and then thinking
yeah,
about the tech and some of these tools, and especially you got a real cutting edge and thorough understanding of a lot of these tools that are out there, a lot of the AI tools and the media content production tools,
mm,
and you've used a lot of them, and so you kind of just like, oh, there's this for this and this for this, and then you know um, helping me to have a good idea about the palette of tools that I could be incorporating.
yeah,
So from all different directions, all the different angles, um, that I need to be working on, figuring out the details, and then
yeah,
okay, who's going to help me with this, and how long is this all going to take, and I'll tell you what really helped me was help me to prioritize, because I was feeling a bit overwhelmed at some points with just trying to make physical progress, and then like the digital will being stalled, and um, but still trying to crack on.
yeah,
And so you really helped me to kind of figure out where to draw a line and what's for this phase, what's going to be enough, and then get things moving for the first phase,
yeah,
before we get into the next round.
yeah.
Mm,
Because actually, when you said, "Oh, I'm thinking about an 18-month plan or vision," I'm like, "Oh, okay." Had to think about it. And then there was method in the madness on how I approached the workshops and the order in which I wanted to digest all the information you was giving me. Is because
mm,
I had it worked out in my head, like, an order of which to, get the output I needed, and then help shape the deliverables.
yeah,
And it was interesting because this wasn't just like AI technology consultancy sort of gig where I can just go in and talk about the tech and what you need to do. It had this whole holistic wraparound about, the physical space, which I had to make some assumptions on your workload on the physical space and also budget side
mm,
as well.
yeah,
And sort of marry that up with the skills that remote workers and digital nomads might want to contribute to the digital side of your launch. But by the end, yeah, it became pretty easy for me to sort of make those deliverables. And yeah, you are right. The sort of light bulb moment I thought was the separation of the physical build out of All Realm. The fact that, like, do you have enough capacity to do all of this, by spring next year? And it's like, no, it's like, well, concentrate
I'll
on the
kill
day
myself.
events.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Concentrate on the day events, concentrate on the ground level of the studio. And then the residential style events will follow, the following year. You don't have to you don't have to sprint for this stuff. You can still make progress. And so, yeah, that was interesting for me, like pulling all those different things together. And then, yeah, just going through the sort of the output, the amount of hours, because you're a single point of failure in all of this. You're like the bottleneck.
Yeah, I'm the bottleneck. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
we identified that one.
Yeah. That was pretty easy to identify. But yeah, kind of like the going into the content production, because media workflows is my thing. Setting up those AI automations and wraparounds that could free up 20 hours of your week. If you got offered uh, freeing up 20 hours of your week, you'd instantly take it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, as well as like technical specs that are laid out and stuff. But yeah, the thrust of it was, if you can bring those digital skills in through remote workers who might want to extend their stay in Fukuoka, they might want to stay for another month or so, and you've got the benefit of having Western style accommodation and Japanese style accommodation, to do some like on-site work and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good mix that you've got good potential, and I was really happy that I was able to sort of guide you through it.
Yeah, and I mean, just as an instant result, I did manage to get photography, video cameraman, and some marketing expertise, all in the short term, just from meeting a couple of people straight away,
Yeah,
which is kind of an instant win.
yeah,
And now it's clear about, okay, who else is next and what's next. And also it was really good because then I thought, oh, who else I know as well locally, and then and so I've actually met two of them, and I'll meet one again soon, and then okay, this is all
yeah,
starting to, once there's some movement, then other things start moving, it all kinds of fits together.
yeah. Hopefully, it's like a snowball effect, right? So,
Yeah, and
as
it
we
was really
said,
good that you were in the physical space, because you're actually here, and I can say, right,
yeah,
let me show you this space and this idea for that, and okay, we can weigh up the reality of it.
yeah. And I think some of I say the test events. So going through the events through the conference fortnight, we did the booth. That was a great day. More people were, knowing what all realms about, and riding on the back of that. I'm like, well, I'm doing a workshop on Saturday. So yeah, it was a busy 3 days. Thursday was the booth. Friday was a pitch competition for me.
Mm.
No, the pitch competition was basically the voice bot, the agentic workflows, and the strategy and consulting stuff that I've layered on in this year, basically. But
It was quite a techie
yeah,
event, though, wasn't it? So
yeah.
how did you get on?
I didn't. I presented well, considering, because it was very technical. That the winners were technical people, basically, and the person who went before me, who presented first, presented, AI agents and stuff like that, and I was following up directly with almost the same thing. So
Mm.
I just zoomed in on the voice bot itself and the multiple languages and AI concierge, as I've sort of coined it. So yeah, I presented well. It was a technical sort of crowd and judging panel, so I'm not surprised I didn't win, but gave a bit more exposure for the workshop day the following day. We got some late attendees
Mm.
coming. So yeah, we sorted out the studio space. You laid it out quite well actually with the trestle tables, the big what is it, like a 65-inch 4K screen or whatever you've got there. And then
Oh
I was
yeah, the big
yeah,
screen. Yeah.
and then I was positioned like horizontally to the screen, so the participants can sort of look at the screen that I'm sharing, and then I can just sit on the sidelines and deliver the workshop. So there's only like half a dozen people at the workshop, which was fine.
Mhm.
In fact, I think we said afterwards, if there would have been 20 or 30 people in that workshop, it would have been too much.
Yeah.
They would have been so far back from the screen, they wouldn't have been able to follow along.
I know
Um,
also the intimacy. You really got to know each of the people and were talking to them, and it was very interactive and lots of questions, and you've got to know what they're working on and
yeah,
which way they're thinking about things and stuff. That was
yeah,
really good for you in that way.
yeah. It's been a while since I've delivered a workshop actually, so it's quite refreshing. And yeah, it was a full day workshop, sort of like 9:30 till 5. Um, I went through basically in the morning, I went through the creative side. So I went through the voice agent stuff, video generation, and then later in the morning we covered off sort of the technical side, AI agents and workflows and stuff like this. We covered off products as well. So if you want to make courses and digital products you can launch online, took them through that. Then we broke for lunch, had a nice bento lunch all around the Tom's got like a common area in the studio, so it's perfect just for having a lunch break. People are chatting away at the tea station and stuff. And then some more people came for the afternoon. I managed to sort them out like a half day ticket for the workshop.
Mm.
So the second half of the workshop day was more around business, which areas are ripe for AI in their use cases,
Yeah.
and sort of developing what I call a straw man. So what came out of that particularly was I was discovering, what pain points these people are having, and how I can create a solution that involves, in most cases it'll involve some AI, either automation or some real time stuff, or even in the background like data and stuff, analytics. Um, and it was a bit of a light bulb moment for me, like listening to these people, what their pain points were from. I get too many
Mm.
emails. I want a discovery call that can be handled by an AI, for example. So yeah, I managed to sort of drill down a bit more in depth into solving something specific for the attendees, which for me is kind of like the most rewarding part, because I wanted them to take
Mm.
away something tangible that they can say, actually, Ben delivering this workshop gave me this idea, or gave me a way how to solve this thing that's been taking them like 4 hours a day or whatever. And for
And
them,
what was quite interesting about that was how people were deciding, and you were helping them decide about which things to automate and not, which should be human touch, what things you don't want to do that you want to
Mm,
get done, that even though you don't want to do it, maybe you should do it. Whether it's worth taking the risk. Is the tech good enough to do a good enough job for it? Or is it really going to be fine? What's high touch and that's high value, and then you
yeah,
should really stick with it. And all those kind of discussions around each business case, the test
yeah,
cases, use case for everybody.
yeah,
That was quite useful, I thought. Yeah,
yeah.
for the
There's
people.
there's one in particular that, like, actually I'm repeating a lot of the same stuff on these discovery calls. And I said, well, you can create a similar thing like a voice agent that has knowledge about what you're offering, and it can probably answer like 90% of what they're calling about. But he said, oh, there's always chance for some like Q&A, or they ask something that's not on the AI scripts or whatever. I said, well, it can be handled in the call. They can get transferred to you straight away. So, I mean, your phone might ring and you might have to speak to them there and then. But all this can be handled in like a AI automation workflow, handing
Yeah.
off to someone human, or at a certain point in the call, handing off to someone human just to finish off like 5 minutes of Q&A at the end of a discovery call, for example. And that's what I like doing, actually, putting the human in the loop. You know, a lot of it might be repetitive stuff that AI can zip through. But yeah, you still need, I think, human in the loop a lot of the times.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
so that was the last of the events that I was involved in, actually. I think we only did one more, didn't we? Your sort of jazz concert and digital
Well, that the
nomad
human
networking.
point makes a nice segue, because that was my event. It was kind of the last day to close out your trip. So I had a live jazz concert at the studio, piano and bass, double bass, and I managed to bring an audience. Just over
Hmm.
30 people came, and nice, intimate gig. We've got the sea background, like big windows behind the stage area, so the audience can kind of look out at the sea while you're watching the musicians and listening to the music. And so that's kind of what All Realm is all about. Is about feeling awe. It's kind of
Mm.
the human experience, to know that it's a real experience that you're having, kind of thing. It's not really like left hemisphere deterministic thinking, hijackable
Yeah,
aspect of human. It's more about, okay, this is the real. I feel alive as a human, and so then to connect with the musicians, to connect with each other, and I mean the gig's great, but also it was really nice at like the break time and afterwards, there's people having a chat and kind of enjoying the space and the environment, and that was all very nice as well.
yeah, it was it was a beautiful day, basically. Nice, sunny. I say it's autumn weather, but it was still like, 25 degrees centigrade or something. But
Mm,
the way the room was laid out with the piano and you on the bass, in the middle of that huge window overlooking the
mm.
bay, was fantastic. I noticed most of the crowd were local. I think I've spotted
Yeah.
about half a dozen digital nomad types there.
Mm,
But yeah, very well attended. And like you said, it's what All Realms about is, I think, your that long-term vision, the 18-month vision, if you will,
yeah.
is, I want people to come. I want people to jam with me. I want people to experience beautiful music. I want people to experience authenticity, right? And that's
Yeah.
physical presence. And yeah,
Mm.
that Monday was a great example of it.
Well, that was also kind of a good point for you to see the place in action, like the vision that I've been kind of explaining and telling you about. When you actually see it and experience it, it makes it
Yeah,
all real and tangible, understandable,
yeah,
doesn't it? Yeah, it's different from me just telling you about it, kind of thing.
yeah, exactly that, right? And I think you hosted maybe one or two events previously, but this time we was able to have a photographer there. We're able to have like the 4K sort of boom operated camera above us,
Mm.
and sort of try to make it a bit more of a production, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I don't know what we're going to do with it, because we still need to sort out all these AI workflows and
Footage.
stuff for
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Getting. Oh well, there's all that. Yeah.
But in terms of
Yeah.
your
In
long form content, we've got this hour of 4K footage. You've got the professional sound desk there to record it onto, and as I've
Yeah.
detailed in some of those deliverables, you can repurpose all that content and multiply it. So have
Mm.
your teasers going out on social media, have your short form version of it, highlights, long form, um, and that's a great start to starting up these content production workflows that you're wanting at All Realm.
Yeah. Because at the start of the year, it was like a March. We did like first couple of gigs as an opening, and the start of April, like spring came, and it was a real rush to just open the studio enough, like passable enough for people to enter, kind of thing. It was
Mm.
not because it was really dirty and needed a lot of work to get it ready, and so that was like a mad rush to open. So I didn't have a lot of time for inviting a big audience and for like having lots of tech ready to make a nice production or anything.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to just share the space and celebrate having it, sort of thing. So just all right, put a couple of gigs on and get some people just to get an image and like to see what it looks and sounds like
Yeah.
to play music here. So that was that phase. And so then when you came and this gig, it was a bit more like, okay, here's what it's going to look and sound like. And having this footage now helps me, we'll repurpose it. And then I'm thinking we'll launch and open with more gigs and regular gigs from
Mm.
next year spring after 6 months. Then this is a perfect way to have some decent footage and quality image
Yeah.
that okay, this is what it's going to look and sound like
Yeah.
once we start operating more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's very useful.
It did feel like the daytime events really came together over that weekend, right? So me doing a small sort of intimate workshop on the Saturday,
Mm,
and then
yeah.
scaling up in terms of numbers participants who were wanting to come to the music side on the Monday. I think, yeah, with the common areas I mentioned before, and just the way the way the building is and where it's set and stuff, it's given you, I think, I hope, a really good way to sort of have more of those sort of events going forwards. And that 6 month timeline that we've laid out in the reports, it's going to be perfect timing for Sakura season, right? Coming up in spring.
Yeah, that's right. Cherry Blossom, yeah, should be out in late March. Yeah,
Yeah.
time to start up the gigs again. And yeah, your event on Saturday, the AI workshop that you led, that was really good to see. That was the first non-music event that I'd done. So
Ah,
it's like,
right.
okay, right. And so, you know, getting the place set up properly for you and you being happy with it and it actually working and everyone really enjoyed it, was comfortable and uh conducive, to
Yeah.
being productive. So that was like, oh, phew,
Yeah.
relief, and it's good to see it in action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
It's like it's good to just have stuff in person, right? So in the past like year, I've got my head down, like going in all this sort of tech and stuff. But people like want the personal stuff, right?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and as I found over those events, the guy from the talk I gave on AI schedules, got a good working relationship with him. Going to sort of take that idea and maybe productize it and take it forwards.
Mm.
People coming to the booth, seeing people's eyes light up at how impressed they are with certain stuff, and yeah, the workshop day itself, like having even like side conversations and asking about people's backgrounds and what they're interested in and where they come from and
Yeah.
what they're doing in Japan and stuff. Because yeah, I mean everyone's like the future's AI and stuff, and for me it's like, well, it's only another piece of tech. You still got this sort of personal human relationships that you still need to
Yeah.
maintain, the soft skills, the experiences, shared experiences and stuff. Yeah, that's going to be even more crucial, I think, going forwards.
It's the human connection that's the value, but the value with the AI is scaling that and still being able to have more human connection. And so, yeah, I think it's kind of an interesting and challenging time for you and for people working in the space, people who want to create content and
Mm.
keep their relationships and try and not become too reclusive, but still need to get their heads down because it's the ISO work when you are sitting home alone and quiet. You can knock out plenty of work, but then what's it all about if there's no one to connect with it? You know, if all your relationships are like social media likes type of things,
Yeah.
interest based connection, if it's, are you actually meeting up? And so that's kind of also the longer term vision of All Realm is um, to have some residential space here, and then
Yes.
to be able to bring a tribe over, and then have a weekend or a week, a course, collaborate and produce some work together. That's exactly the kind of things I'd like to be doing here.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm like, I've loved the last year sort of getting some shiny new objects to play with, basically, right?
Mm.
But I've found it's more for productivity that my biggest gain is being more productive more quickly. What I want is to free up my time to have more like, personal, like human relationship sort of stuff instead of
Yeah.
spending too many hours in the tech, basically. If that can free up my
Mm.
time to do, more storytelling, more macro level stuff, more in-person stuff, then, that's the
Yeah.
direction I want to take. And interesting about that long-term vision you've got for All Realm. That's a perfect example of it, right?
Yeah. And also, I think in your client-facing work, even though you're helping them integrate tools and working on the tech side of things, really, you you've got those people skills. You can talk to the techies and you can talk to the C-suite guys
Yeah,
and everyone in between, and kind of navigate this this space and getting the show on the road and what it's all about, kind of thing. And uh, I think that's definitely down to the human uh, relationship skills that you've got, and it's you'll never scale that kind of thing.
yeah, exactly right. Because like, I think we've talked before about it on some podcasts, but the soft skills is even like now, especially, it's even more important than the hard skills. So
Mm.
someone can go and get a technical qualification, or they can go and get certified in this, that, and the other. Um, but it's even more relevant now to have those soft skills. And, especially, I deal with clients where a project might not be going, too smoothly, for example, and they'll really appreciate, you being able to step in with that sort of human sort of connection and trust to take it forwards, and, to be even with them in the room when stuff's going wrong.
Mm.
Um, and the other stuff that, can't be disposed of, like critical thinking, nuanced decision making. So AI can make a decision like this, right? But there's certain
Yeah.
nuances around decisions, right? And
Mm.
only a human can have that nuance. And yeah, I think just going to double down on that, basically, the soft skill side, the human side. And as we see, like the tech takes care of itself in terms of evolution, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's going to keep continuing this, and so everyone's thinking, oh, it's going to replace us all, and we're all doomed. But really, I think it's going to force us to really find out how human we are, or what's the value of being human, and
Yeah,
it'll work in a strangely opposite way at the same time.
yeah,
And some things will have big trouble. There'll be all kinds of trouble, but there'll also be another whole shift of what what being human is all about and what's the value of that. I think that's also going to be quite an interesting phase. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to think about is, okay, if human labor, got being replaced by industrial age, and then you've got, okay, the information age being replaced by AI. So, well, what's next for humans then? It's the abstract and the human, the full hemisphere aspect of the human, and it gets more difficult to pin down what all that is, and we know it, but trying to quantify it and deal in it and sell it and live from it and stuff is a whole nother challenge, and that's kind of where we're at, I think,
Yeah.
what we're facing
It's,
next.
I've heard people talk about, you know, the democratization of AI, and basically it's going to enable people to do stuff that they've never been able to do, and it might make everything, so cheap so quickly. It might force this, as you say, like we didn't expect that. Actually, it's going to force the human connection more now, um,
Mm.
because yeah, if it is, because I've been able to do stuff that I've never been able to do. So I've never been like a third line level principal coder or developer. But
Mm.
now I can approach some sort of coding with some confidence that I'll be able to get something working, with vibe coding and getting AI to assist me with coding and stuff. So it's allowed me to do stuff that I've never been able to do. And if you sort of, extrapolate that to everyone, then
Mm.
yeah, it's like, well, yeah, maybe it will make everything so cheap and so quickly, that it's a almost like a level playing field.
Speaking of which, you created this the ramen bowl as part of this Ramen Tech. That was something you're like, oh, I want to create something, just a novelty little uh, feature, something
Yeah,
to mark our engagement with the people coming up at the booth. And so Ben created this like instant email. It's like not instant ramen though. The ramen looks more like it was cooked well with like customized. Like, thanks for meeting us, and here's your customized ramen bowl. It was quite funny, and so you took a bit of time to create that workflow and get that working. That was
that was quite fun actually.
quite a funny,
Because you're
funny
like,
little
oh,
feature.
maybe we should like do some whiz bang thing at the booth, for people who are wanting to subscribe to emails, basically. So yeah, I'm like, maybe we can do something with images because I work with AI generated images quite a lot. And I want it to be something personable. So yeah, we sort of decided on the location. So, oh, we met at Ramen Tech in Fukuoka, and the LLM will, introduce like the company. So it's like, oh, hi, Adaptable International. It was great to meet you at Ramen Tech, and then managed to insert the custom-made ramen bowl with, the company name along like the rim of the bowl. But each one will be different, and that's, the beauty of AI is you
Mm.
ask it one question or ask for one image, it'll never be the same image basically. So it's quite nice, offering a custom a custom ramen bowl to everyone who came to the booth.
Yeah, that was funny
Yeah,
and well done. Yeah, you did a bit of tweaking to get it working. That was quite funny to see you like,
yeah,
yeah, let me figure something out that's a bit novel, something novel to show
yeah,
them. Yeah,
yeah, right, yeah.
yeah, it's good.
So yeah, I'm just thinking like, what's next? I mean, just landed back in the UK. Got some interest from a client actually this week. So it's going to be sort of, yeah, more of the same basically. Carry on sort of opening avenues in the AI space. Some of them like sort of 2 week consultancy sort of gigs. Some of them
Mm.
are like remote, working on sort of an integration. And then yeah, just recently more interest from the broadcast media side, sort of rolling out automations and stuff. Um, and so yeah, I'm sort of heading into Q3 on a positive note. I'm fully recovered from the bike accident now.
Yeah,
Managed to get a lot of online presence, so I managed to build out the web presence whilst I was in Japan. And then yeah, following up with client leads from Japan and also from the UK as I've just got back. So I'll be spending some time in London. There's a few meetings I need to go to. There's a conference, and there's also a couple of like networking nights that I always find interesting. Yeah, I'm going to try and speak again, actually. Try and do either a mini pitch or a mini presentation. Yeah, I feel a bit emboldened now. So yeah, it was
Yeah,
great to
it's good.
spend that time in Japan. Very really good outcomes on both sides, my
Mm.
side and your side, hopefully.
Yeah, me too, definitely. Yeah, I think it was quite a relief to know that broadcast media is not completely dead, bankrupt, irrelevant, whatever else it might be, because you kind of, well, as you some of the other podcasts, been talking about how the budget's going and the eyeballs are going here, there, and everywhere, and
Mm.
how tough things have been getting, kind of thing. And so, actually, there's still some way to go and still some things
Yeah,
happening,
yeah,
and especially integrating some of these things to deal with the change is totally where the opportunity still exists, and
yeah.
I think that's good, and just the kind of thing you need to get your teeth stuck into right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, people are still watching television basically, but they're watching it
Oh
on their
yeah.
own schedule. They're watching it online,
Mm.
on demand, and through the streamers mostly. The traditional sort of transmitter, terrestrial sort of linear TV is sort of in decline. It's the streamers have now overtaken it essentially. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's work still there, but it's changing, and
Mm.
I'm good at adapting to change, fortunately. So I should be okay.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah. So for On Realm, I'm hoping that next 6 months get some headway done with the DIY. Have the front of house all spick and span and ready for spring opening, and then start some regular gigs and recording projects, collaboration, and then continue with the upstairs in a bit more of a steady rhythm, and then work on getting the residential side of things ready after that, and then really get the digital workflow established and try and get some
Mm,
help. So if there's
mm.
anyone watching, listening, who's interested in coming to Fukuoka, you want to stay, collaborate, help me work on any aspect of the studio, you're welcome. Please get in touch.
Yeah, we'll put Tom's contact stuff in the description. Yeah, it was great 6 weeks. Really, I felt it was a springboard for me and for you as well with your development of All Realm. And it's always great having you on the podcast, Tom.
Yeah, thank you. You too. And yeah, also emboldened, really watching you just go, okay, let's do something, and then just go ahead and do it. I've been so moving so slowly with so many things, moving parts
Mm,
going on at once. I've just like not been getting things done because I've not been sat at a PC much. Always in the 3D world working on things, and so
yeah,
that was really refreshing to see. Oh, you can actually just take action and get things done. It's like, yeah, I need to get
yeah.
things back in perspective again. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Good having some inspiration, eh?
Mm.
Yes. All right.
All
I think
right.
that wraps it up then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay. Thank
Talk
you.
to you all. Bye bye.
Thanks for listening to Reinventing Broadcast. Subscribe for more on AI content and the future of media. And visit Ancast.tv for more info on Ben himself, the resources, other content, and news.